So this weekend, what you might have figured out from the last video was we're going to be talking about the new phone that I got. Now, I kind of teased here and there about how this might be the perfect phone, but it's more or less the perfect phone for me, and there were a lot of tweaks that I had to do to actually get this to be the perfect phone. So we'll start with the bad on this phone, only because it's a significantly shorter list than the good. After using the phone for a little bit, roughly about a week, I noticed there were a few little issues with it. So the first issue being the entire user interface that ASUS installs from the factory. It is absolutely horrendous. So the first thing that I did was installing Nova Launcher Prime. Right out of the get-go, it's already significantly better. They have this theme engine that you can use, but it's not as good as you might think. It just changes icons, theme color. You can change between a dark or a light background, but from the default it's already dark. And given that the accents on the phone are already orange, the theme kind of matches, ready to go. It was more or less the actual user interface of going through apps and things like that, the ecosystem of Android itself. I wanted to make it look more like, well, Google. I wanted to make it look like the Pixel. More of a refined, untouched, clean, vanilla look to Android. And with Nova Launcher Prime, you can definitely achieve that, especially with the hiding apps feature in the app drawer. So you can take the minimal bloatware that ASUS did actually install, which is some useful apps, but not every one of them I'm personally going to be using. They do let you uninstall some of them, but just because I'm still testing everything out, I didn't want to remove them entirely. I just wanted to hide them from the app drawer in case I did have some free time and I wanted to start looking into it and figuring out all the little tweaks and things that the phone has to offer. Now, that wasn't really a big one because you can do this on any Android phone, but it was just something for a personal preference for me. It's not a huge deal that we're going to get into. I'm pretty much going to do that to any Android phone that I can to try and make it as close to a Pixel experience as possible. Now, the camera is surprisingly good for a gaming phone where that wasn't even a priority for them. Now, it has the two-lens system on the back. There's the regular field of view and then the wide angle. The standard lens completely exceeded my expectations for this camera by far. It's very good for what I was expecting from a gaming phone where the camera was never even considered as a selling point. However, the wide-angle camera, where it is nice to have, there's a huge decrease in quality. So much so that I actually find myself never using the wide-angle camera just because of the reduction in image quality. Now, the camera app itself is awful, but it does have a pro mode where you have full manual control over everything. But we're just gonna kind of put a little asterisk in there. It only works for images. As soon as you go to video, everything is on auto and you can't adjust anything. So looking into third-party apps is an absolute must for this if you intend to do any kind of camera work or use this as kind of a second mid-grade camera. Now, another downfall to this phone, or I shouldn't really say downfall, it's more or less something that can be fixed in software, is they have a battery monitor mode that recognizes when apps are being used in the background, which is fantastic and it's a great feature to have. The only thing is there's no exception list for it. You can either turn the entire program on, the entire program off, or you can tell it which apps are not allowed to be running in the background. You can't, however, have an exception list for what apps are allowed to be running in the background, but won't give you a notification telling you they're still running in the background. So a perfect example of this is, let's say with YouTube Premium and you have a video running in the background. Let's say for whatever reason your phone's on mute and you've left that running, it's now eating up data. It gives you a little notification, says, hey, there's stuff running in the background, it's using battery life. Great, little reminder, perfect. It can be very useful in instances like that, or maybe you've left GPS running or something like that for maps where you're trying to find a location, you found the place, but it continued running in the background. Now, the downfall to not having an exception for this monitoring system is that if I have an app running in the background, let's say SoundCloud for instance, and I'm listening to music, I have a notification that's constantly there that I can't get rid of, telling me that there's an app running in the background that's using battery life, even though I'm aware that I'm using it because I'm listening to music with headphones in, but there's no detection. It's software based. This could easily be fixed in a software update, but for the time being, I've just turned it off entirely to fix that issue. What else do we have about this phone? Now, the good on this phone is unbelievable. The 90 Hz refresh rate display, you really don't know how much of a standard that should be until you have one, and you've used one, and then you try going back to something else that doesn't have this. The display on this phone is extremely smooth, and unlike the Razer phone, this is AMOLED, so the black levels are fantastic. It has dual front speakers, which are insanely loud, so that's a huge step up from the Pixel 2 that I was using, and it has a headphone jack with a built-in DAC, so you get significantly clearer audio quality than you would normally get. Now, like I said in that iPhone video, having a headphone jack was a luxury that I didn't realize I missed until I had it back. And this phone has a headphone jack, and I can assure you I've been using it almost every single day. The phone has a fingerprint reader on the back, 3 USB-C ports, the one on the bottom and the non-colored one on the side can both be used for charging. Focus. Come on, face detection, do your stuff. I got the Game Vice. I ended up picking up the Game Vice for it so I can have a Nintendo Switch type experience when gaming, and it's fantastic. However, I did notice one issue with the Game Vice. I'm not really sure if this is software related or maybe it's a power restriction, but when I have the Game Vice installed on the phone, I can't use the included fan that goes over top of it. Even though it does attach, it'll recognize the fan, turn the fan on, and it'll disable the Game Vice from actually working until I disconnect the fan. So there's no additional cooling options and using the Game Vice at the same time, even though the Game Vice design still allows you to attach the fan. Now the air triggers are absolutely amazing. I was playing Real Racing 3 and setting one of them up to accelerating and one of them braking was fantastic compared to trying to do the on-screen buttons with your thumbs. It changes the entire experience. I bought the first party case for it, which I didn't know at the time of purchase was actually 3 pieces, but it kind of makes sense after that you can take just the centerpiece off if you want to leave the 2 bumpers on the edge still on while you're gaming for that extra grip, which does make a huge improvement for trying to hold this while gaming. As for the build quality of the phone itself, 10 out of 10. By far one of the best phones I've ever held. It has a perfect weight to it, feels extremely sturdy. I can't give this phone enough praise. The only huge downfall was the user interface, which I've already figured out ways to get around that and fix it into a clean, minimalistic look that I'm comfortable with. And last but certainly not least is the RGB logo on the back. It is purely aesthetic, and I just love that they put it on. The attention to detail into such little aspects like that is what makes this phone significantly different than anything else out there. The little copper vents attached to that aluminum heatsink on the edge of it, the RGB lighting, the Asus aerodynamic system theme that they have going on with all of their gaming hardware. I just can't say enough good about this phone, and the very small cons that I was able to find with this phone don't even come close to making this a bad experience to be using. So for now, and in the sight of how phones are going, this is going to become my daily driver, and I haven't a thought in my mind of changing to anything else now. So that wraps up the video for the ROG phone, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for an update that was a little bit unexpected, but it'll be changing things around this channel, probably for the better. So I'll see you back here on Wednesday.